Welcome to Jobline, Long Island's only program devoted to career opportunities and workplace issues. I'm Scott Possessor. Cybercrime, it's here to stay. And according to today's guest, it's about to get worse. Viruses and hacking are common fare in the news, and it's projected that 69% of adults will experience some kind of cybercrime in their lifetime. But what happens when that cool smartphone you become so dependent on becomes the target of the more than 17 million malware threats identified yearly? And what about smart TVs and other internet-capable appliances? Are they destined to become malware targets as well? 2010 estimates on the cost of cybercrime exceeded $388 billion, and there are currently 1 million victims of cybercrime daily. But this next wave, focused on financial transaction-capable smart devices, also creates opportunity. Joining me today is Chris Hickey, president of Total Defense, a CA spinoff that is sprouting roots here on Long Island and becoming a player in this ultra-competitive but burgeoning market space. Chris, there couldn't be a more exciting and a more happening industry than cybersecurity.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when you look at smartphones today, as you mentioned earlier, you know, smartphones for the first time in our lifetime have outsold PCs. So think about this: over 100 million smartphones were put into the marketplace versus 90 million PC shipments. So where the attacks are coming from is where the phones are, where the data are, right? So attackers focus on where the money is, right? So malware today is up 400%. That means virus attacks, and malware is defined as, you know, a virus or spyware, mostly spyware on the smartphone, where, you know, users today are getting attacked. That's becoming increasingly more in the smartphone arena because attackers are going where the money is, right? And they're focused on, saying, hey, look, you know, we're still hitting the PCs, but we see this growth in smartphones, and eventually the smartphone is now turning into a little computer, and we're doing financial transactions and statements and things like that, and hackers go in and they try their best to monetize that and attack. So, you know, we're up every day at Total Defense trying to figure this out, and we're doing a great job. But, you know, the malware is on the rise, and, you know, and consumers out there really have to take an active approach on security.
All right, it sounds like the technology is being cranked out at such a pace that there isn't enough time to secure it. Yeah. So that the products are being sold, but they're not protected, and people should know this, right, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you look at smartphones in general, right, Google announced there was over 1 billion applications downloaded on the Android device, right? There's over 2,000 applications a day being built. So why is that important? Because the applications are the way into the viruses and the spyware, right? So at the end of the day, you know, when you see a lot of these free applications on smartphones, that's a way where organized crime, you know, where years ago it used to be a Doom virus on a PC or a Melissa virus, right? It wasn't organized, right? It's a multi-billion-dollar industry focused on monetizing it and taking advantage of consumers who are not using security software, who are not really out there proactively understanding that they could be attacked, right? So at the end of the day, you know, we've got to take a more proactive approach, and I think education is the first step, right? We got to educate consumers on, hey, these applications that you're downloading, you know, especially the free ones, are the way that these organized crime cyber attacks happen. They have to get the malware out there. They have to get the viruses out there, so they use free applications, right? Also, SMS texts, right? What happens is once you get an application on the phone, then they try to send you an SMS text, right? And it's amazing, these scams that are going on, Scott. Like, think about a phishing scam. And in our industry, what a phishing scam is, they will take a retailer, right? An e-tail website. We just went through Cyber Monday, one of the most explosive holidays of the year. Numbers were up all in general. People shopping online are up. You know, it's really just an amazing statistic that we're doing more online than we've ever done, right? So what an organized crime unit would do is they'll focus on saying, hey, look, you know, let's take a phishing scam. Let's make it look like a top e-tailer that you would shop on. You know, maybe it's an Amazon or a Best Buy or whatever. And they'll say, hey, look, we have an order that's stuck in a shipment. And they'll send you an SMS text, and it'll look like it's coming exactly, it'll feel like it's coming exactly from that online e-tailer. You'll click on it, right? And then all of a sudden, they'll start taking information out, right? They'll look for keystrokes. They'll look for financial information. So spyware is the real growth today on the smartphone. That's where it's coming. And with the difference in viruses and spyware is where they can track you, right? They look for your incidents. They look for your ability not to put a password on certain information or not change your password, right? And those things really are what attacks really come from, right? Is looking at spyware and looking at things like that. So we have to take more of a proactive approach to that.
All right, you're also a dad.
Yes.
You have 2 young children.
Absolutely, beautiful kids.
And I think that there aren't enough security programs out there that have the parental controls, because I think think parents are giving their kids a loaded gun.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, so what happens today is, so when you look at some statistics today, right, 39% of teenagers, right, between the ages of 10 and 17 will send an inappropriate message out, right? That's more of a sexual content or sexual nature, right? So what happens today is when you give your child a smartphone for Christmas, right, or a holiday, right, it's almost like giving them access to almost like a loaded weapon, in my view, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to put security on there, right? So imagine they're sending text messages back and forth. They're texting while they're driving, right? They're basically sending a message that once it goes into cyberspace, it's out there forever, right? So parents today have to understand when they give these devices out that they put security on them, right? And we have technology today at Total Defense that allows you to basically say, hey, look, if somebody sends a photo to somebody that might be inappropriate, the parent is automatically emailed that photo, right? And what you can do is you can basically go there and say, okay, look, you know, educate the child to say, hey, look, you got to be careful what you send on these text messages because when it goes in cyberspace, it's there forever, right? It'll come back 20 years from now when you're looking for a job, right? And at the end of the day, I think that, you know, parents today have to take a more proactive approach, but it starts with the industry educating the parent that, you know, these text messages can hurt you, right? Or if a parent says, hey, you know, teenage kids like, let's go out for a beer or you know, filtering, go to a gambling website. The technology today routes that information to the parent so they can take a proactive approach in educating the child about the good and the bad that come with this great technology that we get to use.
So there's nothing that can get rid of all malware, all spyware, all viruses, but the best thing we can do is be vigilant on all fronts, educate, you know, as best we can, and come up with the technology that keeps pace with the crushing need for more technology.
Yeah, so think of it this way, like years ago, the home had 3 or 4 PCs in it. Then the PC moved into the netbook, and then we went to the laptop, right? And then all of a sudden we're now into tablets. Now we have smartphones, right? We have Xboxes and PlayStation 3s, and now we're moving into smart televisions, right? And then we're doing GPS tracking systems in the car with access to the internet. All of this is an amazing technology that can be used for the good, right? But with it comes risk. With it comes people that are not good in nature, that are organized trying to attack, right? So we have to today look at the home and say, how do we secure these devices, right? How do we make sure that malware doesn't get on them? And then we work together to do that. But it really is a challenge for the industry today because nobody can prevent it all.
All right, now we've set it up. We've scared the hell out of everybody. And in the next segment, we'll tell them how to protect themselves. Okay, up next, the steps you can take to protect your gear from cyber attacks. Jobline, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Jobline on News 12 Long Island. We're continuing our discussion on cybercrime and how to stop it. Joining me once again is Chris Hickey, president of Total Defense. Chris, welcome back.
Thanks.
Time flies when you're having fun. It's really amazing stuff. And now, if you could, and let's turn our attention to what can viewers do. I mean, I think we really alerted to some things in the previous segment that they weren't thinking about. What are some basic, simple steps they can do?
Yeah. So first, you got to run on any device security software. Number one thing you can do. People ask me all the time, hey, you know, there's free security software and there's paid for. You know, and I'll tell you, on the PC security, a lot of the virus and malware come from scams with fake AV, right? And that comes from free AV. So be careful about the free ones out there. Not all free AV is bad, but at the end of the day, I would really invest in a paid for security subscription on your home PC. The second thing is the same on your smartphone, right? Security software has to be on your smartphone. Parental control software should be on your PC if you have children at home, and it should be on your smartphone if you have children at home.
Now, wait, just to interrupt. So anybody can just take their smartphone, connect it to their computer, so get on the web, literally download it right into their phone. Done.
Yeah. It's really simple. I mean, and then you monitor it right from a website, so you can see, you know, on a smartphone, you can see if in terms of monitoring devices, you can see where your child is and locate them on a Google map at any given time. With our product today at Total Defense, you could basically see all the messages that you think are inappropriate. Right? They could be routed to you. It has a full virus and spyware scan. The other piece is, you know, there's 115 smartphones lost every minute, right? So think about when you lose your phone and you lose your data, right? What's going to happen, right? The first thing you can do is, with a security software such as Total Defense, you can go to the internet, lock it immediately so people can't take the data. The second thing you can do is wipe it clean from a remote site. So when you lose a phone, that's when really all your contacts and your information get out. And then simply you get a new cell phone, you back it up because all of it's in the cloud, right? And we can back it right up to the cloud. So my advice to consumers today is, look, first run a full security suite. Second is change your password. You should have an 8-digit 6-digit alphanumeric password that's changed monthly. Your Facebook and your Twitter site should not be the same as your bank accounts, right, on your passwords. You should not have generic passwords. You should change them frequently to make it more difficult for hackers to hack in, right? So if you're doing certain things like that, making sure you have paid for security, changing your password. The other piece is links. If somebody sends you an email and you don't know who it's from, don't not click on it. Do not click on it. If somebody, I tell my wife Denise this all the time, right, at home, you know, you got to be really careful about clicking on links on emails, right, because that's when they put a bot in and then they start taking data out. And remember, these organized crime guys are smart. Right? It's a multi-billion-dollar industry targeted on vulnerable consumers that are not educated about security software and not educated about the marketplace. And they love the fact that you don't change your passwords. They love the fact that, you know, that your data is vulnerable, right? That you're not running real security software. So you got to keep your subscriptions, because most security software is on an annual subscription. You got to keep it updated, and you got to be proactive in that approach. And you got to educate your family members about the good and the bad on the internet, right? Because there's a lot of great things on the internet, education, all the value of it, but there's a lot of bad things on the internet. 1 out of 7 children will be solicited by a sexual predator online today. That's an enormous statistic. 77 million teens are active online in America at any given time.
And you know what's really critical, I think, is that the parents are giving these gifts and they don't know this.
No, they don't know it.
They don't know the facts. They don't know that there is a security product you can download for your smartphone.
Absolutely. And I think that it starts with education, and I really appreciate you letting Total Defense on today, because you know, we're out there, you know, we're big advocates of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Every time you buy a product, we donate money there because we work hand in hand with them. At the Consumer Electronics Show, we'll be with them, with the people from the center. And I think, like, when you talk to guys like John Walsh, you know, from America's Most Wanted, who are very involved in our company, it starts with trying to do the right thing and making sure that consumers are aware of the threats on the internet, and they do not hand these devices out to their children without giving them the tools they need to be protected.
I noticed on your website too that they can get a threat level check anytime they want.
Yeah, you get a security check every time.
Okay.
You know,
all right, we got to take a short break. Okay, up next, some final thoughts from our guest and a couple of job openings when Jobline on News 12 Long Island returns. Welcome back to Jobline on News 12 Long Island. Chris, I don't think you could have a more interesting topic than the one we've had today.
Absolutely.
And it does just about affect everyone.
Absolutely.
You know, all enterprises, all companies, all individuals. There's nobody here that's excluded from this crushing problem. Now tell me a little bit more about Total Defense. I'm fascinated by it. It's a CA spinoff.
Yep.
You guys are sprouting roots here on Long Island.
Yeah, our headquarters are on Long Island. Our CEO is Paul Lippman, phenomenal guy, educated in the business. He just set up an operation out of Palo Alto, right? We're backed by Updata Corporation, which is one of the most financially stable private equity companies in the world today, led by James Sokas, right? One of the really smart guys that came out of Symantec Corporation for many years there. So we've just got a phenomenal management team, you know, with Barry Goldsmith as well at Updata Corporation. We've got financial backing, we've got investment dollars, and we're here to take market share, right? Total Defense's headquarters will be Long Island, but we have operations, you know, around the world, right? Chasing, you know, the latest threats in malware and viruses. Our challenge today, you know, coming into the company and any new company is hiring great people. People make the company, right? And you know, we're looking every day for people in inside sales. We're looking for people in marketing. We're looking to build a great company together. But you know, every great company starts with great people. And you know, at Total Defense, we believe in our people. That's our #1 differentiator today in the space. And we believe Long Island has the best people in the world. You know, between Palo Alto, California, and Long Island, we got the United States covered.
Now, what I find interesting is when you talk to people, they're like, well, where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? And here, you and I have had several conversations, and you're telling me you got jobs everywhere. You got all kinds of jobs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's amazing. We got inside sales jobs, and we're looking for really technology people, you know, in inside sales. People that, you know, have a computer science degree or technology background, couple of years of experience in inside sales that can go out and really start recruiting into the small business marketplace, right? Making sure that they can talk to network administrators, they understand the latest threats. That we groom them to be what we call security specialists, right? That can add to be a trusted advisor really to the small business today, and to make sure that they understand what the channel is, and they're actually facilitating a great security experience for our customers.
We're going to look at a couple of jobs that you brought for us. This inside sales rep, that's the one you already mentioned, and you have more than one position open for that, so people should not hesitate. And also, there's a position open for a consumer marketing manager. Tell us a little bit more about that one.
Yeah, the consumer marketing marketing job is really around our retail presence, right? As we mentioned earlier, PC Richard & Son is one of our phenomenal locations where you can buy total defense products today, as well as Best Buy, right? But we're increasing our retail footprint to make sure our consumer products are out there. So we need marketing people that can leverage, great packaging, great ideas, both online, where you can buy our products directly online today or buy them in U.S. retail, to package up our products to make sure that we can acquire our customers in the rate that we need to rely on substantial growth.
Okay, and if you want to apply to these jobs, you can email R. Landauer at totaldefense.com. And before we say goodbye, I have one more question for you. Where is this all headed? You got 45 seconds.
So I think where it's all headed in the end is you've got multiple devices in the home. The home is basically turning into almost like a small business with all these devices. I think that we can keep educating consumers about the best security, right, and make sure they have it. But I think in the end it's turning into a service. I think you're going to see Total Defense, come in where it's not just going to be about allowing the consumer to put a product on their device. It's we have to go in and make sure we are the security service of that home. And I think our vision and strategy is right on to get there.
All right, sort of like an ADT.
Yes.
Only different. Okay, thanks to my guests and you at home for watching Jobline. Until next time, I'm Scott Possessor. Happy hunting.
Thanks.